Boom, we're back. Episode 121 of the Quarantinecast. It's crazy how many episodes I've done already. I can't believe it, but I'm really excited for this one. I am joined by a fighter who's actually joining me from Mexico. He's got a big fight this weekend, Alex Martinez. I'm really excited for this one. Obviously, anytime someone fighting out of Canada or representing Canada is fighting, I'm always behind them. Doesn't matter if they're in the UFC or on the regional scene. It doesn't matter to me. I'm really excited for this one. Without further ado, I'm going to bring him on. Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? Doing well, man.
How are you doing down there in Mexico?
I'm doing well, like right now is probably like what every fighter considers toughest part of fighting, which is, cutting weight. So, I'm keeping my weight down, staying on the diet. So, but I mean, it's like my wife keeps asking me, right? She came down with me. She says, are you glad you're here? Because she knows that it's a tough part. And I'm like, you know what? I prefer being in this nice and beautiful weather than like being cutting weight in the cold winter in Canada. So, I'm doing just well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine it's a lot easier down there, especially for like cardio around this time of
Yeah.
the year too, right? Like if you're out running in the snow, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, like everywhere in Canada, it's something that we have to fight against, which makes us even better, like stronger fighters in a way. I believe the call is something we already wake up fighting. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's funny.
What's the COVID restrictions there? I know iKon, I'm sure, has some things in place, but what's it like in Mexico? Are they, I'm sure the organization is telling you not to come into contact with too many people. What sorts of protocols do they have?
Well, it's funny actually. Here the COVID restrictions, it's more. I think in lower countries, like people are more poor, people actually follow it better in a way. They're more scared of the COVID in a way. It's kind of silly, but I mean, I can go outside without a mask and I'll be fine. But you see, like the Mexican residents, they wear masks all the time. They make sure they keep their distance, which is kind of funny. I think they're more scared. Down up in the up north, I think we're a little more skeptical in that sense. We kind of like we just want to wear the mask when we want to wear it, not when somebody's telling us. We're
Yeah,
here, they kind of listen to the restrictions a little more and they follow the rules a little more. But still, it's also Mexico, so there is
yeah,
a lot of loose ends. They kind of don't really force it down upon you. You won't get fined, that's for sure. If you go into places and you don't want to wear your mask and you kind of like give a fist, then people will just let you be. But also at the same time, I don't know. My dad, my coach, which is my dad, got told, he's like, "Hey, yo, put your mask on," by an older lady, which was kind of funny. But uh, I mean, it's well, like everything is open.
I want to
Yeah.
ask about that. What's it like having your family kind of getting behind you? A lot of people leave their family at home when they go to fights. What's it like having both your dad and your wife travel with you, and not just with you, but have them as almost a part of your team, especially with your dad as your coach?
Well, it's a big blessing, right? I mean, it's I don't know how to say it. Like I love having them every single way of the step. They're there when I'm training, when I'm going through my camp, and I'm having the lows. So why not them being? I understand, like there is a war mindset of leave your family away. We're going to war, but at the same time, they're right there getting ready for war with me. So in the end of the day, it feels good to complete, the things with my family. Plus, they know I also kind of like how you say educated them well in a way when it comes down to the things that I need to be able to keep my mind in sharpness. And for example, my wife understands that she needs to give me my space whenever I need it, so she's not like very clingy at the moments that I, for example, need my space to focus, meditate, or just enter in the warrior like mode. There's a lot of things that we had to overcome together throughout the years, but um, it's I love it. It's I wouldn't want it any different. And then of course my dad is my coach. He well he's a warrior himself, so when he comes with me, it's like we both go to war together in a way, right? And when he fights, it's the same way around because he also fights. So I go with him, and it's the same mindset. He just feels like my teammate, my coach, and my dad at the same time. It's amazing. And then I have my coach Bill as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, what's it like having that dynamic? Obviously, you see it with guys like Wonderboy Thompson. His dad is his main coach, but a lot of the times it doesn't work out. But then you see it work. How do you balance that? I mean, are you at family dinners sometimes and your dad's looking at you and you're like, I just want an extra bite. Like, don't judge me.
Yeah, no, not really. Like I think when you talk about like dieting in that sense.
Well, like it's almost like your dad's coaching you all the time. Like, did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
feel like there's times where you're like, okay, you can just stop being my coach and just be my dad for a night, like a
yeah,
night?
yeah.
You feel like
Well,
how is that balance?
man, I'll be honest to you. I grew up being in that type of fathership. So, for example, I only know him one way. For me, I only know him as a father slash coach, and I think he does very good to be able to like put the fathership and coaching all together. So I only know him as a father the way that he is a coach almost in a way. So I don't know if that's very understandable, but what I mean by it is this is what I know and that's it. There's no different fathership for me, and it works out very well. We have a very strong relationship together. Yeah, when we go out, he's always coaching me, and I just have to accept that. It's a good thing, and I enjoy and I love it. And also like made me very humble throughout life too, because I always have to listen. um I don't know how to say it. Like it's very natural for me. I don't see any other way. So when people ask me that, it's kind of like I grew up like this my whole life. So that's all I see and that's all I know, right? I don't know any other relationship between a father and a son the way that I have. I mean, I've seen it from other people, but the ones that I enjoy is the one that I'm going through. So
It's good to see that. A lot of the times it's hard. I mean, you saw it with Khabib Nurmagomedov too, where his dad was his main coach. His dad's the one that got him into fighting. His dad,
mhm.
when his dad died, he didn't even want to be a part of fighting anymore. How is the relationship both with your dad and your other coach? Like, I find that would be, it's kind of hard. I mean, your dad's probably watching and being like, I know him better than you do. Why are you giving him
Mhm.
different advice? How do you find that balance of having two different coaches?
In that sense, like I say, it's been a lot of work done between all of us. So like, a good relationship, for example, I have a good relationship with my wife here. That's why I bring her. I heard of fighters, having issues with their other ones, so they never take them. Same thing comes down to, coaches. I think we did a very good job educating all of ourselves together and, working hard to be able to like get along. Of course, we're humans, so sometimes I don't get along with my dad, I don't get along with my coaches. Same thing, my coaches don't get along with each other. But something that we have is that we're very humble, we're very strong, and we're martial artists. That we actually work through those problems and we just talk it out. We have issues, be like, yo, man, I don't feel this is right. So we're always talking, and it's I don't know. There is very good communication in our team. Probably that's why things are going very well for us. Um, but my dad gives the space to whoever wants the best for me. And of course, when somebody doesn't want the best for me, something we always do is we listen, and then we kind of just decide for ourselves, okay, man, this guy for sure doesn't want the best for ourselves, so we should probably kind of keep some space in between. And I mean, and if I'm also like very smart in that sense, if I feel that something is not right, and I'm just kind of listen to it till I say, okay, probably it's time to step away from this. So how do you say? I don't know. I think we work very good as a team. My coaches work very well as a team. Like I said, my dad gives the other coaches because I have two other coaches. One is my wrestling coach, which is back home, and the other one is my MMA coach, which is Bill Mahood, right? Very well known. And my dad gives them their space. Whenever they're teaching me, my dad gives them their space.
It's a good balance to have, and it really is good to see. Not a lot of people can pull it off, but when it does work successfully, you can really see it. Guys like Wonder Boy, guys like Khabib, it really makes a huge difference. I
Hmm.
want to talk a bit about your fight because it is 3 days away, so we can't not talk about it. What's
Yeah,
your,
man.
what's your thoughts on the matchup? I mean, he's very dangerous. He's 7-2. He's very skilled. You're not taking a light fight. You're
No,
taking a
no.
tough opponent. So, what's your thoughts on the matchup?
Well, my thoughts on the matchup was always kind of like the same than always. It's like a good chance I was gonna fight somebody even tougher. So like to have this opponent, of course, it's a tough fight. I'm not looking him lightly, but in my head, it's like what we were planning to fight somebody even with a higher skill set. So you know what, this is a perfect fight for us. I think he's very tough. Like you say, he's very skillful. He has good experience, and I don't know. Like I just believe in myself that I have what it takes to be able to overcome and become victorious, right? So I don't know how to explain it, but there's just a feeling inside of you when you see a fight, when you see it happen. You're like, you know what, we got this. And even if you don't have it, you better make sure you like fake it till the end. So
Yeah, yeah,
so I
you're
mean,
right
I'm
about that.
excited. I'm very excited. It's going to be a good fight. I'm very excited.
What's your thoughts on fighting for iKon? I mean, you've fought for Brave, you've fought abroad before. It's a new organization, new country.
Mhm.
What's your thoughts on it so far?
Well, I mean, so far I really haven't got the experience with them besides just being here in this place. But I really haven't met the promoters yet. I really haven't met the staff yet. So it's kind of tough for me to used to. I mean, they're giving me a fight, so I'm very thankful for that. Especially in times like right now where fights, it's kind of hard to get. Then it's all the way down in Mexico, which is nice. I love traveling. I used to fight for Brave, like I say, and that's what I used to love about Brave, just the way they treat you. You go all the way around the world. You can check new places, and I love that so much. And I mean, this is for sure not in that level yet, but it's very good. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm looking forward to see what iKon has to offer.
There are a lot of eyes on iKon right now, and one of the reasons in particular is it's the only event. Really, it's one of the only events going
Yeah,
on
yeah,
right now. And Bellamir is also, although she's
that's right.
17, a lot of eyes are on her. She's competing as well.
Hmm.
Do you feel like having those extra eyes on you is a blessing? Obviously, if you lose, it's
Oh,
not great,
yes.
but it's also possibly a next step to a UFC or a Bellator. Is that the ultimate goal there?
Honestly, UFC is the ultimate goal. Bellator, I'm not very interested in Bellator unless it's just a stepping stone, to be honest. In all honesty, uh, that's kind of like, the UFC is kind of like where I'm aiming for. And the reason why is that is because, the best fighters in the world are in the UFC.
Yeah.
And I want to test myself and I want to, go to the highest level of the sport and see how far I can go with it. And it's always better when there's more eyes because the more eyes, the better. So if iKon is bringing those eyes, and man, I'm thankful for it. So the more eyes, the better. In the end of the day, I have to. I'm there by myself, anyways. I'm there with God, myself, and of course my team on the side. But I'm the one fighting, and you know. Whether there's one person or 10 persons, I'm gonna fight the same, right? Whether there's 1,000 person, 1,000,000 person, I'm gonna fight the same. So I'm excited for it.
One of the things about Canadian MMA, not just now during the time of the pandemic when everything shut down in Canada, but a lot of fighters have to go abroad. So even though you're competing abroad, you do have an entire nation behind you. Whether you compete here or for Brave, what is one thing that you wish could change about Canadian MMA? I mean, obviously, it just feels like there's not enough going on inside the country. As someone who's training primarily out of Canada, what's your
Mhm.
thoughts on that, and how can Canada kind of overcome that hump?
Yeah, well, one of the main things, like you say, I would love to see more shows going on, like, shows stepping up a little more and actually, it's easier said than done though, because especially the way that Canada runs, the country is a little more, it's not like the US or Mexico where they can just get things done. There is a lot of regulations we have to follow and a lot of steps we have to take. But at the same time, I would just love to see more support down into I would say the promotions, to be honest, because that's what it really comes down to. It's a lot of money to put promotion and to get fights going on. So I would love to see more fights, around Canada, especially like I say, times of COVID, there hasn't been, I think, one high-end professional fight card going on. I think Quebec is the only one, but it's all amateur, right? Like down in Quebec. And
Montreal
then
Fight Week.
yeah, Montreal Fight League, and I think that's about it. And after that, I don't think has been one Canadian Fight League putting shows. So, I would like to see a promotion putting some fights on. Especially in these pandemic times, it kind of shows the countries that are really interested in the fighting world when it comes down to these pandemic things, and they put in shows. So, yeah, I mean, Canada is a big country. It's so
Yeah,
big.
yeah, they really are. I know FLA, just
Yeah,
across, like I know the owner of FLA. He's trying his best, but with regulations and stuff, it's very difficult. And like
yeah,
you
yeah.
said, I think it is. I think for a lot of Canadian fighters like yourself, guys who are trying to come up, it's hard. You have to go abroad, and hopefully they can kind of, get something together because we need it. Because there's a lot of
Hmm.
good talent out there. TJ Laramie, yourself, Tom O'Connor, Anthony Romero. The list goes on and on. But without
Yeah.
organizations in Canada, it's really hard.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, I mean, and there is a lot of people that are also, if you don't keep Canadian fighters active, that window of the Canadian fighters will be gone, I mean, if fighters are not fighting right now, then here in 5 years, you probably won't have as many names popping up as fast just because of the pandemic going on, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of fighters already quit fighting because of this pandemic because it's hard, it's almost impossible to follow a career like that, and it's kind of hard to keep the Canadian fighters motivated like that. So it would be, it would be nice to to give them something, just to be able to keep on pushing forward and to keep the roster growing, right? So I mean, MMA is becoming very hot all over the world, and all over the world is putting cards right now, and Canada is one of those that should step up a little more, I think, but it's very tough.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I want to talk about the pandemic. We haven't seen you in 14 months, which is a long time. Obviously, COVID
Mhm.
had a lot to do with that. How have you developed in that time? Obviously, you can't go out there and put on fights, but you have to get better in the gym. So, what sorts of things have you been doing throughout lockdowns and all this stuff, all the confusion? Gyms up and running, sometimes they're not. How have you benefited, and how have you kind of turned it around and made it a positive?
Yeah, well, I think I always, even throughout all this lockdown, I've been ready to fight. Like we've been actually ready to fight since. Well, I was actually supposed to fight in the was it March? Yeah, March 28th in Brazil. So I was getting ready all the way till, and then 2 weeks before, I mean, a week before, I think it was, they canceled the car, and then the whole everywhere went into a lockdown. Then after that, I wanted to be one of the first few fighters from Canada to actually get out there and start fighting. So I've been, like, we kind of found a few holes here and there, and I always stay in shape. I always stay in shape all the way through the pandemic. There was always things like I did, and I've been planning to fight since July, so I've been in the fighting mindset since July already. So I've been getting ready for a fight since July, and since then things just have been falling through. So I was supposed to fight July, it did not happen. I was supposed to fight September again, and that did not happen. Then I was supposed to fight October, and then November, and then now finally this one came through and is actually happening. But it's almost like my camp just kept getting pushed every single time. So while going through it, it sucked. But now looking back, it really did not feel that I had nothing coming up because I was always looking forward to another fight. So I improved a lot everywhere. I mean, the cool thing about the pandemic, it gave me more time to just take one step back and analyze things a little more instead of just when you're in a training camp, you're kind of rushing a little more. You kind of, because you're trying to put your shape up, right, just for the fight. But when you're out of training camp and when you're with a little more of a calm mindset, you actually can take things more technical, so your technique improve a lot faster. And that's what I found, it really improved myself. Found my technique really improve. I got a chance to go down to Montreal for a bit. I got a chance to go down with, well, actually we brought a few fighters down just to help out too. And it was it was tough. Like everywhere it was tough, but we found the ways to get better.
So we asked about the pandemic. How are you feeling now? Obviously, fight week hasn't happened to you in over 14 months. Does this feel any different? Obviously, you didn't add any weight or anything like that. Weight cuts going smoothly. You feel good?
Well, there's always the little stumps and bumps that you gotta overcome. That's part of fighting. Like I don't think I ever had the same experience from every single fight. There's always something
Yeah.
new that I have to overcome, but that's what makes fighting so exciting. If I knew everything that was gonna happen, I'd probably be changing and doing something else, quite a while ago. But it's having these little bumps is what makes it exciting. Having those bumps and overcoming them. Things not going right whenever they should be going right, and overcoming them. Like that's what I really enjoy about fighting. And to be honest, this is a different experience, but I think my experience through all my fighting and all the times that I've been abroad is really helping now. Just to know that just to stay calm in situations where things become very chaotic. So yeah, man, I'm excited. It's brand new experience. It's in a different country, different place, different obstacles that I had to overcome, different way that I had to approach through training as well. It's every single time I fight is different, and that's what I love about fighting.
I want to also add that you are like me, Hispanic Canadian, and
That's right. Yeah.
how does it feel to represent both flags?
Man, it's very unique. Not many people can do it, especially from other nations around the world. Like I'm very blessed that Canada is a multicultural country, so they're very welcoming to other nations, which is awesome. And it feels great because I still have a lot of proudness and pride from Paraguay because of the culture and all those things. I mean, I moved from Paraguay when I was 14, so still a big part of my life was on there still. And but also, my family is from Canada, my wife's side. I've been in Canada for a long time, and all my friends, my coaches, my training partners, my sponsors are all Canadians. So it's amazing to be able to represent my community. The people that what I was born with, and then also the people that are with me today. And it's very unique. Like I say, I'm very thankful and very blessed for that experience.
I want to add, you're fighting in Mexico. Also, this weekend there is another Mexican fighter. As Hispanics, we always end up kind of rooting and leaning towards Hispanic fighters. That being said, there's a huge fight this weekend. Brandon Moreno can bring a belt to Mexico.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Competing against Davison Figueroa, who looks unbelievable. If you have a prediction for that fight, who do you think is going to win it?
Man, I'll be honest to you. I really don't follow Moreno much. I follow Figueroa a lot, so I know his stuff. I think I think Moreno brings the fight. He's just Latino, very fiery. But I think Figueroa is just a little more experienced in that sense. I think he's gonna take it, and I'm thinking submission, to be honest. Submission as well. I don't know which round. I cannot give you a round because like Moreno, like I said, Moreno is not an easy fight. He can easily finish this fight. But I will just lean towards Figueroa to get that submission.
Okay, and I'll ask you one last question. For people who haven't seen you fight, what can they expect from you this weekend?
Excitement. That's all I can say. My fights always are different. I always, there's little things that makes it unique that every single fighter has. But I think it's always different. Whenever I get in there, it's always a different outcome, always different matchup. There's always something new to expect. So all I can say is excitement, right? I mean, I come to fight. I know he comes to fight, and it's just I'm. We're here. We're both here to put a good show, and that's what I'm saying. And of course, at the end of the day, hopefully, if God permits, the victory comes to my house, and that's what I'm looking for.
All right, perfect. Is there anybody you want to thank before we end this?
I always love to thank everybody right after the fight because the job is not over yet. So I love to showing them my thank yous with the way that I fight. But I wanna thank everybody that support me all the way through here. And yeah, soon after the fight, I'm gonna give all my thanks properly, how it should be done, because the job is not done yet.
I love that. I
Still one
love
more
that a
job.
lot.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, best of luck this weekend. Obviously, you have both the entire Hispanic community behind you up here in
Thanks,
Canada and all of Canada. So best of luck, man. We're rooting for you, and I can't wait to watch you fight.
Perfect, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Huh? Thank you for the call.
All right, man. Stay safe.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, there you go. Alex Martinez. He's competing this weekend for iKon Fighting Federation. If you haven't, make sure you follow him. He's very, very talented and one of the brightest prospects in all of Canada. And I am really, really looking forward to his fight. And if you haven't yet, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys.